In the depths of a primordial jungle, a squad of Japanese soldiers pushes forward, unaware they've trespassed into a forbidden realm. Their commander signals a halt, a sense of unease hanging heavy in the humid air. He peers into the dense foliage, sensing an unseen predator watching their every move. Suddenly, from the canopy above, a creature of myth descends, a titanoboa, a serpent of impossible size. Before the soldiers can even scream, one is engulfed whole, his fate sealed within the belly of the beast. The rest can only watch in frozen terror, their modern weapons useless against this ancient god of the forest. Decades later, the legend of this monstrous serpent resurfaces, not in myth, but in the desperate quest of one man, Lin Qi. By day, he is a passionate but controversial biology teacher, known for his shockingly vivid demonstrations of the food chain. His methods, like showing a live snake, devouring a mouse, terrify students and infuriate the school administration. This unorthodox approach ultimately gets him fired, leaving him dejected and alone, clutching a box of his belongings. But Lin Qi's troubles run far deeper than his career. He returns to a quiet, somber home, where the true weight of his world awaits. His beloved daughter, Bei, is battling a terminal illness. She sits by her bed, diligently organizing her medication, her small frame a stark reminder of what is at stake. She is his entire world, and he is losing her. His academic pursuits are not for fame, but for a cure, a miracle he is beginning to lose hope in. Just as despair sets in, a knock at the door brings an unexpected proposition. Two men stand on his doorstep, one a sharp young assistant, the other a powerful older man named Qi Teng. Qi Teng is the president of the Wan Hong Group, and he hasn't come to discuss Lin Qi's teaching career. He knows Lin Qi's secret. Behind the facade of a humble teacher is a brilliant biologist, the anonymous author of the prehistoric creature encyclopedia. Qi Teng is particularly interested in a chapter Lin Qi himself dismissed as mere speculation, a chapter on a mythical plant called the blood, weeping begonia. This legendary fruit is said to contain a unique chromium element capable of halting cancer cell division, a miracle cure. Qi Teng reveals his own desperation. He too is dying of cancer, and has poured his fortune into Project Rebirth, a top-secret mission to find this plant. His science teams have located a lost island, which he named Resurrection Island, where geological surveys have detected a massive spike in the exact chromium element Lin Qi described. The blood, weeping begonia is about to bear fruit. Qi Teng's offer is simple and impossible to refuse. He will cover all of Bei's medical expenses and provide a handsome deposit. All Lin Qi has to do is lead the expedition and find the fruit. For his daughter's life, Lin Qi agrees. He is whisked away to a ship, the Black Mamba, poised at the edge of the unknown. On board, he meets the team, a grizzled mercenary captain, a boastful geological expert named CK, and a sharp skeptical scientist, Lan Ru. Lan Ru, a leading cancer researcher, immediately clashes with Lin Qi. She believes in hard medicine, not fairy tales from a children's book. She sees the expedition as a fool's errand, a dangerous fantasy that gives false hope to dying men like Qi Teng. Lin Qi argues that the unique chromium enzymes in the begonia could theoretically kill cancer cells, but Lan Ru scoffs, stating it would require refining the entire planet to gather enough. Their debate is cut short as the ship approaches Resurrection Island, shrouded in an unnaturally thick wall of fog. Lin Qi recognizes it as a rare meteorological phenomenon, but even he is stunned by its density. CK, the ever-optimistic adventurer, simply grins. This is what makes it an adventure. As the Black Mamba plunges into the mist, the atmosphere turns grim, the world disappears, replaced by a grey, oppressive silence. The silence is shattered by a sudden attack. A swarm of creatures bursts from the water. Flying fish with razor, sharp teeth and a thirst for blood. The deck erupts into chaos. The crew screams as the fish descend, like a living hailstorm, tearing into flesh and metal alike. Bullets fly, but the sheer number of attackers is overwhelming. Men are dragged down, and the ship's bridge is breached. In the pandemonium, Lin Qi protects Lan Ru, explaining that the creatures are drawn by the scent of blood. They manage to barricade themselves inside, but the ship is heavily damaged, and the crew has suffered heavy casualties. After the swarm subsides, a shaken Lin Qi examines one of the dead fish. He notes that these fish typically only attack when threatened or during their spawning season. But it is not spawning season. A chilling question hangs in the air. What could possibly threaten these monsters? The ship's engine is fried, and repairs will take at least 3 days. However, Lin Qi's analysis of the water reveals they are close. The fog wall has accelerated the local climate, meaning the blood, weeping begonia, will bloom in just 2 days. With time running out, the captain and Qi Teng decide on a reckless course of action. A small light pack team will cut directly through the jungle. Lin Qi vehemently objects, warning that the forest is an uncharted death trap. But the captain coldly retorts, "We're here to solve dangers, not avoid them." The shore party ventures into the oppressive green labyrinth. As they trek, Lan Ru sees Lin Qi writing a letter and learns about his daughter Bei. Their journey is immediately fraught with peril. CK almost picks a strange fruit, but Lin Qi stops him just in time. He identifies it as a prehistoric bomb fruit, which violently explodes upon maturity, powerful enough to kill a zebra. A nearby fruit detonates, proving his point with a terrifying bang that leaves the team rattled. Lin-Chi notes that these isolated fruits were likely carried here by some animal, an ominous sign of the island's inhabitants. As they rest, a mercenary's bravado turns to terror. He foolishly taunts a small snake, only to freeze when he looks up. Looming over him is another giant serpent, its eyes filled with cold fury. The team opens fire, but the beast is a whirlwind of muscle and scale. It strikes with lightning speed, scattering the mercenaries. CK is nearly swallowed, but is saved at the last second by the captain's intervention. In a moment of quick thinking, one of the soldiers lobs a grenade into the serpent's mouth, and it explodes from within. Taking refuge in a cave, they make a horrifying discovery, a nest filled with giant snake eggs. Lin-Chi realizes the snake they just killed was merely a mother protecting her young. The true monster is still out there. During a quiet moment, Lanruo tends to Lin-Chi's wounds and finds a drawing made by his daughter. He finally confesses the full truth. Bei's cancer has spread. I couldn't save her mother, he says, his voice breaking. But I have to save her. Lanruo, finally understanding the depth of his desperation, is moved. Their moment is interrupted by a new threat. The lone survivor from the stranded ship stumbles out of the jungle, raving about a bigger snake that killed his entire crew. The captain dismisses him as a madman, but his words confirm Lin-Chi's darkest fears. The island has more than one guardian. Almost immediately, the jungle itself attacks. Sentient, bloodthirsty blood vines, erupt from the ground, snaring the team. It is a chaotic struggle for survival, as the team is dragged, crushed, and consumed by the killer flora. They barely escape, but with more lives lost. The surviving mercenaries are ready to quit, but Chi Teng, consumed by his obsession, pulls a gun. He offers to triple the pay for anyone who continues, but Lin-Chi steps in, taking command. From now on, he declares, you listen to me if you want to live. The path forward reveals evidence of a creature beyond their comprehension. A massive, shed snakeskin hangs from the trees. And what they thought was a path is actually a trench, carved into the earth by the passage of an unimaginably large body. Just as dread reaches its peak, CK's scanner goes wild. He has found it. High above, nestled in the treetops, blooms a single, gigantic, blood, red flower, the blood, weeping begonia. Their prize is within reach, but as a mercenary climbs to retrieve it, the true god of the island reveals itself. The Titanoboa from the opening scene, a beast the size of a train, uncoils from the mountain itself. It is the island's final and most terrible guardian. A battle of epic proportions erupts. Bullets bounce harmlessly off its armored scales. It swallows a man whole. Then another, its rampage unstoppable. Chi Teng, mad with desperation, screams at them to stop firing, fearing they'll damage his precious fruit. He points his gun at Lin-Chi, ordering him to retrieve it. It is my last hope, he pleads. Just as the Titanoboa lunges, Lin-Chi risks his life, dashing past the beast to snatch the fruit. He succeeds, but now he is trapped. Chi Teng demands the fruit, but as he reaches for it, he finally meets his end, consumed by the very monster he awakened. The remaining survivors, Lin-Chi, Lanruo, and CK, make a desperate run for a narrow canyon, the only escape from the colossal serpent. BK, lagging behind, is tragically swallowed by the pursuing beast. Lin-Chi watches in horror, the cure for his daughter in his hand, but his friend lost forever. At the canyon's edge, Lin-Chi makes a choice. He tells Lanruo to run, holding up his daughter's drawing. I can't let her lose her father. He thinks, but knows he has to give them a chance. He turns back, leading the Titanoboa away from the others. A lone man against a living mountain, he runs toward the field of bomb fruits he'd noted earlier. With the snake hot on his heels, he throws the blood, weeping begonia as a lure. As the monster lunges for the fruit, it triggers a chain reaction. The entire field of bomb fruits explodes in a cataclysmic blast, engulfing both Lin-Chi and the Titanoboa in a massive fireball. Lanruo can only watch from the canyon, screaming his name into the smoky abyss. But from the wreckage, a figure emerges, battered but alive. It is Lin-Chi. And moments later, another figure is spat out by the dying beast, a slime, covered but miraculously unharmed. CK, the friends are reunited against all odds. With the cure in hand, they journey home. The adventure is over. Lin-Chi saved his daughter, but the final scene shows him once again being dismissed by a school principal. Even after facing down gods and monsters, the mundane world refuses to accept him. He fought the Titanoboa and won, but he couldn't win the battle against bureaucracy.